Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. We weren't here Monday. We had a little extended Thanksgiving break from the show, and now today's already Wednesday. So hopefully you enjoyed our Thanksgiving show and the best football games from 2023. I feel like I picked out some good games.
Yeah, you definitely did. I do have to say that I don't have glasses on, and I'll have to explain why. It's because my glasses broke at Ford Field for the Lumen Christie game.
Oh,
Maybe it's good luck.
I forget. I noticed it was like, why isn't he wearing his...
I
and
know,
then
I haven't...
I remember right before the game when we were getting onto the field. Is that when it broke, too?
Yeah, when we were getting ready to go into the elevators, and that was like as we were coming back down for the start of the
Which
game.
time? We went up and down like 8 times
I know,
on the elevator.
I don't know which time it was, but yeah, that sucked. So now I gotta wait to try to get those fixed. But so that's why if I look weird without my glasses, that's why.
Well, do you wear contacts?
Mm-mm.
Just glasses?
Yeah, just glasses. So I know you're probably wondering how'd I drive here. I'm wondering that same thing. No, we're good.
Well, at least you didn't drive us to and from Ford Field.
I didn't. That was Noah going 97 down the freeway. If anybody saw the JTV mobile,
he's not watching. That's okay. But it was good. It was a good time at Ford Field, and that's how we start today's show. By the way, thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency and Pataki Orthodontics. And big thanks to Minuteman Sewer and Drain for helping us bring you the whole season of high school football here on JTV. But that's how we start today's show, the Division VI MHSA Football State Championship. Head coach Herb Rogan and the Lumen Christie Titans ended its dominant run in the 2024 campaign with a 14th state championship in program history as LC took home a 56-18 victory over Atlantic Catholic in Detroit on Black Friday. Cadell Williams continued his historic season right away. On just the second play of the game, he started dominating, and that's what we've seen from him all year, 36-yard touchdown run. I don't know if any of you guys knew this, but I just saw it on the live stats when I was sitting up top. Cadell had 73 yards rushing in the first 5 minutes of the game.
First 5 minutes? Oh, my gosh.
73 yards. That's when I knew he could probably get close to the record because he was close coming in. Obviously, he broke it. We'll talk about that coming up. But he broke the MHSA record for the most rushing yards in a state final on Friday, running for 314 yards. Not that that's a low number, but I feel like before we even started talking about the record again, a few weeks ago, I feel like the number to me would have been higher than before we actually looked into it. But Lumen would go on to rout Lansing Catholic 56-18 to win its 14th football state championship in program history. Now the most ever, passing Farmington Hills Harrison. Cadell Williams, 5 touchdowns, 314 yards on just 27 carries. That's ridiculous. Josh Dumont, Isaac Rayberg, Logan Decker also scored for the Titans. Marion Clay led the Titans defense with 9 tackles. And now, even statistically, too, Cadell Williams is now has the 13th best season in MHSA history. 43 touchdowns this year and 2,605 yards. The old record was 42 by Skylar Stoker from Grass Lake in, I think, 08 or 09. Because after the semi last week, he had 38 touchdowns. And coming in, I thought it was going to be a couple score game. We didn't go in there and expect it to be 56-18. But then when that happened and he got close to the record and he won more touchdown, and the Coach Brogan and Drew Sweeney were on the morning show Wednesday, and they were talking about this. Drew said as soon as they saw it on the video board up there, they're like, okay, we got to give it to him one more time here.
I haven't had a chance to listen to that interview yet, but that is so cool. I didn't know about that, and I've always wondered, like, all right, if they knew that they were close to the record, would they?
Yeah, they looked up and saw it, and the linemen were like, we got to give it to him one more time.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he was only like 20-something yards away from it. So,
and that's a one run for Cadell. It's 20-something.
Yeah, because he had a 70-yard touchdown run. He had a 36-yard one on the second play of the game. And then 3 more touchdowns that won't even make it into our top plays this week.
So crazy.
Plus, we'll briefly talk about it coming up in the top plays, but right before Thanksgiving, we had Jackson College basketball.
Yeah, those were a couple good games.
Yeah, I think the women's team is still undefeated too, so they've had a really good start to the year. I was not there. I had other engagements, unfortunately. But we haven't been here since then, so that was good at JC, and photos are online on our website. And after the game, our own Josh Burgett talked with the coach, Herb Brogan, the quarterback, Timmy Crowley, and the running back, Cadell Williams.
For JTV, baby! For JTV! Josh Burgett with JTV Sports here with head coach Herb Brogan. Coach, first of all, 56-18 win against Lansing Catholic here to get another state championship for you. Can you just talk about the preparation that went into this week against a tough Lansing Catholic team that I know you have a lot of respect for?
Oh, their offense is great. You know, it was difficult in the sense that we just came off 3 weeks playing wing T teams, and so we hadn't seen the spread offense in almost a month, and muscle memory and whatever, it's going to take a little bit of relearning. But and we worked really hard. Tony and Shane and Coach LaFear, those guys put in all kinds of time and came up with a great plan, and the kids executed it.
It was a great plan. You gave up some yards in this ball game, but you didn't give up a lot of points. You were great when it got down close. Can you just talk about their work to not give up points against a team that's been averaging significantly more than that, and you hold them to 18?
Well, I think the fourth down stops were huge, forcing the turnover early. Made them, play catch up the entire ball game. But no, I just think I think our coaches put in so much time and effort, and the kids buy in, and a lot of film work, after the practices, and I think a big part of it is you respect the program, you respect their offense, and the kids understand that, and they know that they have to really be prepared in order to stop them.
On the offensive side of the ball, your offensive line was tremendous again today. Probably, in my estimation, their best game of the season. Can you talk about their work as they had they created a record-setting game for Cadell?
Well, I think the offensive line played great, and I think one of the reasons that they played so well is because they're coached by Coach Dan Horn, who's absolutely one of the best line coaches in the state of Michigan. And he has those kids prepared every single week. If he picks up things in the sidelines that I don't see. He relays them up to Sean, and I think Sean called a great ball game again today. He hit him with the pass when we needed to, but I thought he did a really good job keeping them off balance.
That pass was a touchdown pass to Logan Decker from Timmy Crowley. Timmy got his 10th touchdown of the season. You talked to me before. You don't ask him to do a lot, but he has been a tremendous leader for you over the past 2 seasons. Can you talk about what that meant to hug him when he walked off the field for the final time?
Well, he's a great player, and one of the reasons he's a great player is because he's a great teammate. When I say that we don't ask him to do a lot, I don't mean that to infer they get a game manager or whatever. We don't ask him to do what he's capable of doing a lot of times because we run the ball so well and so much. We don't call him to throw it a lot, but he's capable of throwing a lot. He's a college quarterback in my mind, and he's a captain and he's a leader and he's a great teammate because he doesn't let those personal goals get in the way of team success.
Cadell Williams had a record-setting game today. Let's just talk a little bit about it. 314 yards, breaks the finals game record for rushing yards. He got 5 touchdowns in this game, which gave him 43 for the season. Coach, 43 is the most in Jackson County history. That's also top 13 in the state's history for touchdowns in a season. Can you just talk about his work today and all season for your Titans?
Well, like we said, and like he said, he's going to acknowledge the offensive line, number one. But on top of that, he's a great running back. There's not much he doesn't have. He's fast. He's extremely quick feet, and you see that in some of the cuts out there. People are just left grabbing air. And he's also deceptively strong. He's a much stronger running back than what people think he is. But he's a total package. He can do an awful lot of things well.
Coach, somebody you and I don't talk about very often, but Andrew Salazar, who had a great game on your offensive line, but also was 8 of 8 for point after attempts today. That gives him 74 on the season. Can you talk about what he's meant to you over the past 4 seasons?
Well, number one, he's part of a great offensive line, but number two, those kicks into the end zone and down near the goal line really allows us to keep people pinned a little bit and makes them work so much harder for anything that they get. So, I think he's just, he's the best kicker that we've had in a while.
Coach, I ask you this every single year when we get a chance to do this and celebrate a title. This one, I think, in my opinion, has to feel a little bit different because this puts Lumen Christi atop everybody in the state of Michigan. Nobody has more state titles in program history than Lumen Christi now, as you get your 14th. You've been on the coaching staff for all of them, head coach for 12 of them. Can you just speak to what this means for the Lumen Christi Titan program to lead all-time state championships in the state of Michigan, passing Farmington Hills Harrison?
Well, I mean, to me, it's really important. Milestone because it's a program. It's a program achievement. And so many people have gone through here and made sacrifices and done things to make people better that they're able to buy into this and look around and understand that they share a big part of that success. So, I mean, the fact that it's a program achievement really means a lot.
Head coach Herb Brogan. Congrats, Coach.
Thanks. Thank you.
Josh Brigette here with JTV Sports, here with Timmy Crowley, senior quarterback for Lumen Christi Titans. Timmy, 3-time state champion. I know you guys started the year, you told me at Media Day that you came out to try to win a state championship. This year you did it, completed another three-peat. Talk about what that means.
It means everything. I mean, just to go out on top this way, last game ever played here, just means everything. It's something we're striving for since the start of the year, like you said, and just no better way to go out.
You were such a steady leader this season, just the calm voice for this team, and did tremendous work. Can you just talk about your preparation and performance to lead this squad?
Yeah, I know. I just owe it to my guys, really. I know the sacrifice they put in, all the hard work. So, I just try to be that voice everyone can look up to, and set an example, really, and just calm everyone down.
Your guys had a great game. Cadell Williams breaks record. Your offensive line did a tremendous job blocking for them. Isaac Rayberg got into the end zone. He did a great work, and you got your 10th touchdown of pass of the year. Your offense was great. Let's speak about your defense and how great they played in this ballgame.
Man, it was all year was offense. But I mean, our defense this playoff push. I mean, we wouldn't be here without them, and just real credit to them because they're on the other side of the ball. Lansing Catholic really firepower on offense, and we were able to shut them down pretty good today.
Tim, you said it's hard to set records at Lumen Christi, but you guys are now the almost all-time state championships in state history. Talk about what that means to you and your seniors.
Yeah, I mean, just growing up in this program, playing Knights football. I mean, 5th grade, Isaac was my fullback, Cadell was my running back. Knights football. I mean, just to go out like this, I mean, just can't put it into words. I mean, just so special and so thankful for this group.
Talk to me about what Coach Herb Brogan and this great coaching staff that you have at Lumen Christi has meant for you over the past 4 years.
I mean, obviously we have some great players that people see every week, but I mean, we wouldn't be here without the coaches. The sacrifice they make, the dedication they make week in, week out. Just best coaches in the state. That's all I can say.
Timmy, congratulations. Timmy Crowley, senior quarterback for Lumen Christi. Josh Brigette here with JTV Sports, here with Cadell Williams. Cadell, fantastic game, a record-setting game, 314 yards, breaks the finals record. Can you talk about your performance today?
I had a outstanding game, but that's just something I do. I go out there, play my game, and don't let up off the pedal. And I can't do it on my O-line. Quarterback and the skill guys, they add on to that, contribute to that. So yeah, hats off to them for having a great season, great game today.
Your offensive line and Isaac Rayberg just did a tremendous job blocking for you. You had such a great season behind that line and Isaac. Can you just talk about their work all season long?
Oh yeah, that's what we live up to at LC under the green and gold. Blocking, being physical. Bloody mouse. We love that. We go after that. So for them to stand up to that and go out there and do it, it mean a lot. It mean a lot to me because sure they got my back and yeah.
5 touchdowns in a state championship game. You just talk about what that means to you personally.
I'm not gonna lie. It's good and all, but it don't mean none. I just worried. I'm just happy we got the win.
I know it doesn't mean much to you, but let me let you know what that did. That gave you 43 touchdowns on the season, a top 13 performance in state history, and the most in Jackson County. That's a heck of a year, and you just did a great job. Just talk about what that means as a 3-time state champion.
It mean a lot, especially with the group of guys I did it with. A lot of us grew up playing youth and kind of been busting our tails off from there, and so we got that chemistry and great bond, and that kind of helped us too.
Cadell Williams, record-setting running back here at Lumen Christi. Cadell, congrats.
Appreciate it.
So you can check out the game highlights and more online, jtv.tv. That was only my second time going to Ford Field, as covering Lumen in the final. I went last year. It's a great game, close, low scoring against Menominee. I was not there the year before against
I was
St.
there
Francis.
the year before, but I wasn't there last year. So between both of us, we've covered the past 2 years.
And of course, Noah and Andy and everybody else and Josh have been there.
They're all veterans.
Yeah, seasoned veterans at Ford Field.
We were the ones getting lost around Ford Field with Austin, trying to get up to the press box.
Even though we'd both been there before.
Yeah, Noah would have immediately gotten right to where we were supposed to be. But we were asking the person in the elevator, lovely woman, we were asking her in the elevator, and she was like, "It's my second day on the job, so I don't know where you're going either."
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, no.
We don't know either.
Yeah, we had to ask around.
Well, because before the game, we were trying to go up to I was trying to find my spot in the press.
trying to
way
get
up
the free
top.
popcorn and
Yeah, for
all that.
Josh.
Yeah.
We had a Slim Jim break on the way up there and
Yeah.
back down and
From Big
back
Boy.
up on the elevator.
Yep.
I saw a few people I knew along the way too. So, but no, it was a good day. And then, pretty much by the time the Lumen game was pretty much decided with a few minutes left, my boss isn't watching this. We had the prime game on up there. Somebody had it on their phone, the Raiders Chiefs, and we watched the ending. We saw it happen live.
Oh, I didn't get to watch that, obviously, because I was down there, but I got the notification on my phone when it was final. And I was like, ooh, that was a close game, like you predicted.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that coming up because I put some words about the Raiders on our paper here.
It's funny, you said on our last show that you thought the Raiders could give them a tough time, and it might not be close.
Well, they missed two field
might be
goals.
close, rather.
They missed two
Yeah.
field goals, including the second one right before the 2-minute warning. So the Chiefs got the ball back. The Raiders used their timeouts. The Raiders got the ball back, and then the fumble happened. So just the two missed field goals alone.
Ugh. And then the Ravens killed me this weekend.
Oh, and then the Bears.
Oh, my goodness.
At least Michigan balances it all out.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
But, for more Lumen coverage, again, another great season. We will have the final Aspen 1 Hour Football Show next week on Wednesday. Myself and Andy Hawley, and maybe a surprise guest in the studio,
Oh,
too.
that's cool. I am expecting probably one of those Road to Ford Field series that Noah does as well. I assume that's probably coming out
I believe
sometime soon as well. So for everybody at home,
We'll have
watch
more
out for that.
details on that
Yeah,
soon.
that's always one of my favorite videos of the year.
Yeah, plus our NCAA game we have coming up, too.
Oh, yeah.
We'll share more details on
We'll
that
have to elaborate.
next week's show. Because we still have a lot to talk about today because we were gone for a while.
That's right. That's right.
And because winter sports is just starting, basketball, let's see, there's bowling, there's wrestling, there's cheer, gymnastics, swimming, and diving. You can subscribe to JTV Sports to now that the winter sports season is underway this week. Keep up with everything happening in your school, and it's free. You don't have to pay a single thing to subscribe to JTV Sports. The only place here, not behind a paywall. And speaking of Lumen, some of the football players are suiting up on the ice rink this Friday at Optimist.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, we've got Lumen, Jackson United this Friday. Live coverage begins at 5:30 from Optimist. Our friend Matt Kibbe returning to the booth for
I
JTV
can't
this
wait.
week.
He is so good. I can't wait.
Matt Kibbe and Max Fritz live on JTV, JU versus Lumen. Remember both games last year were not very close. Even though United is a good team. Now, I'm not a big hockey guy myself. If you know me, you know we've never talked about hockey on this show, and I don't plan on it. Obviously, our two local games. But just not a big hockey guy. But obviously, that's the one sport I don't call.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to enjoy it from the comfort of home and watch our crew do the work at Optimist.
There you go.
At least I'll be warm.
Yeah.
The rink is cold in there.
Yeah, it is. It is. And if you're me, you almost get hit by a hockey puck when you're filming. But
And the puck was almost hit our producer.
I have a story to tell you surrounding that, but it'll have to be off the camera because I don't want to mess something up.
But no, live hockey Friday should be a good time.
Yeah. I early on in the year, I think going into week 1 of the football season, I told you Lumen Christie was going to go to Ford Field and win it all. I think that this first game, I think Jackson United's going to win this first game. and this will be the first time that they win since I've been here, that they won this game.
That would be, I don't know if you'd call it, history. Maybe you do. But I actually, boys high school basketball started this week. Some history was made in that sport yesterday. You know how good Hanover Horton's boys basketball program has been over the years. An unlikely Cascades opponent beat them in their own gym against Hanover yesterday.
That's not easy to do.
No. And it was a close game, too.
Who was it?
Well, I'll tell you coming up.
Oh,
Stay
what a
tuned to find out.
cliffhanger. What a cliffhanger. This guy knows what he's doing.
Not really. But, I am worried, because we go to set up prior to Friday. And I saw, if you go to our Facebook, we have, you'll see our weather update on there. Winter weather advisory starting Wednesday at like 5 or 6 p.m. It's already started by the time you're watching and listening to this. And then all the way till like Friday at 2 a.m. And we'll be there Thursday.
Good thing we have a truck now.
Right.
Only problem is I don't have a truck, so my car's not going to make it.
Yeah, if you already thought it was bad driving for you in the winter, now before all the stuff that's supposed to happen, then it's not good. Somebody was saying 3 to 4 inches at least.
My buddy who lives in Grand Rapids, guess what he's going to get?
Probably 9 to 10.
12 to 14 was the thing I read. No, thank you, dude. But I went to Grand Valley, so I was used to that lake effect. It was terrible.
Right. Well, the Buffalo Bills had a fun time with the lake effect.
Woo,
snow.
those fans had a fun time.
Catching and passing touchdown.
He's unbelievable. Josh Allen's unbelievable.
MVP.
Yep. You can make that argument for sure.
But we will get to the NFL and more. But when we come back, just because our high school football season is over, doesn't mean we still don't have top plays of the week.
Hey, we still got one more.
Yeah, so thank you to Pataki Orthodontics. That's coming up. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David. That's Adam. Hopefully y'all had a good Thanksgiving. I did. The Packers won. I know I'm already a Lions hater, but they really shouldn't have won. It was the clock.
Come on.
It was the clock bluff.
They would have won. They would have won anyways. I guarantee you that if even if the Bears would have been able to actually kick the field goal
and make it,
I'm pretty darn confident if we would have gone into overtime, we would have been the better team in overtime.
Really? Because the Lions collapsed in the second half almost. So
it doesn't. We still would have done it. We still would have done it. We're different.
I'm not fully disagreeing only because it's the Bears.
Right. That's why I was like, even watching them drive down the field, I was confident they weren't going to score a touchdown. It was just kind of like, oh crap, we're gonna have to go to overtime now, and then
just didn't expect the game to end that way.
Can we talk about what? And I know they fired Eberflus.
Already should have a while ago.
What I kind of don't understand. I don't understand why they fired him, but what he was thinking in that final call of why he didn't call a timeout earlier. And then he was happy about it. He was kind of just like, yeah, I'm glad we did that. Well,
that's clearly should have never been there then. Yeah, we'll get to that because I want to talk more about the Raiders, too, for a second, and then we'll get to the Bears. But Michigan, over no longer number 2 Ohio State, but at the time, the number 2 Buckeyes, 13-10. Khalil Mullings.
What a beast.
What a game.
Oh, man, that last run. That last run was nasty.
Where I thought it was going to go, the usual run that Michigan play always runs.
Right into the gut.
Right up into the pile for a yard. Instead, backs out, gets around everybody on a third and 6, and it was originally a run up the middle. Because that's what Kirk Campbell does. Now he's fired.
I think that was crazy. I think
so it was good firing.
Yeah. I think Rich Eisen said that Mullings put on a superhero cape for that one. And I agree. That was a good one and people actually have already animated that where he's wearing a yellow or a maize and blue cape and he's running. It looks pretty sick.
2021, Hassan Haskins did his thing.
Yeah.
2022, Blake Corum. Last year, Donovan Edwards. This year, Khalil Mullings.
Yeah, dude. Unbelievable, man.
The last, I think, 22 matchups in a row in this game, the winner has won the rushing battle.
I saw that stat. That is a crazy stat.
That's believable because even if you go back to Harbaugh's first year in 2015 or 16 when JT Barrett was short, he was, anyways, Curtis Samuel had that last run when it went to double overtime. So that's understandable. I can see it now because every year, even since 2016, has been like that. So, of course, you heard about the melee after the game, planting the flag on the field. No suspensions. The Big Ten announced each school will be fined $100,000.
Wah. Dave Portnoy will cover that for us. That's not a big deal.
If he can cover $11 million for Bryce,
then
Underwood,
he can do that for us.
Yeah. I put on our sheet media member in the middle of the fight. So, Michigan, the sideline reporter for Michigan Radio, former Wolverine and Eagles player Jason Avant. After the game.
Avant, yeah.
He was the one. If have you seen that video where the Michigan guy, the Ohio State player, had the Michigan flag and the Michigan guy's ripping out of his hands and takes it away? That's Jason Avant.
Oh, he was kind of bundled up, so I couldn't really tell who it was.
Yeah, well, It was cold. I don't blame him.
Oh, yeah, it was.
So Jason Avant, former Wolverine, had to step in.
And you're in Columbus, so you want to be buttoned up because if you're wearing maize and blue, you don't want people to know who you are. You're just kind of, you're in Columbus.
Wouldn't care at this point. There are what now.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, I went to Columbus when we were still on that losing streak, and I was hoping nobody would ask to see my license to know I was from the state of Michigan.
Even the cop.
Yeah, I was just like,
you don't belong here.
I was like, can I give you a fake ID?
Yeah. But they were a laughing stock, though, at that point in time.
Michigan?
Yeah, when they were losing all those games.
Do you think, I've heard this thrown around a lot, do you think this is the worst loss Ohio State has ever had in this series?
I've seen that. Colin Cowherd said that. I think so. Because coming in, Michigan was 6-5. Let's be honest. Michigan's been, I don't want to say horrible.
But we've been complaining all year,
They have not been good this year. We've had 3 different quarterbacks, and we're just not, I thought the season, maybe before the Illinois game, I was like, okay, if we can beat Illinois, get back into the rankings, make a little run, not make the playoff, but at least play for something, it might not be the worst season ever.
I mean, this changes the outlook of the season completely.
Oh, yeah.
When we look back at this.
But then we lose to Illinois. Let's be honest, we only lost to Oregon by a couple scores.
Yeah.
Barely lost to Indiana.
Who's been amazing this year.
Right. So even though we lost, that's still some positive energy, right? Then you put up 50 on Northwest. I know Northwestern's not good, but that was still a good preparation game to go to the Horseshoe, and then they beat the Buckeyes and forces it to be a Penn State-Oregon Big Ten championship.
And then all those Ohio State seniors that I watched a video with Portnoy, talked about him earlier, and he was just on his show, he was just killing these 2 Ohio State fans that are on his show with him. Didn't even let them talk. Just the entire time talked. But, what he kind of said is true. It's like, this is like one of the darkest days in Ohio State history.
But I think back to, is this the worst loss ever? I think so. Because of how bad this Michigan team was.
On paper.
This year.
Yeah.
And Ohio State, their only loss was to Oregon by sliding at the end of the game. Besides that, they mauled Indiana, who's also a good team, but Indiana hadn't played anybody yet before that. But they beat the living out of Indiana. So it was like, okay, Ohio State is the number 2 team, or 3, whatever.
I thought they were the best team in college football. I think I said that multiple times.
I still don't. I still think Oregon's the best team.
Yeah. Or Texas, But that made me rethink Ohio State. I mean, that was their first loss, right?
Second, because they lost to Oregon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, that tells you how important this rivalry is when this coach Ryan Day has lost 2 games this year and people are asking him to get fired.
Well, because they lost to Michigan 4 years in a row,
right?
And they've not made the Big Ten championship any of those 4 years.
And I knew they were in deep trouble when it was either late in the third or in the fourth, and it was like a 3rd and 6, and they just ran a draw right up the middle, and it was just stuffed, and then they punted it away.
Okay, I saw a meme from some Twitter account. It was like Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly, horrible, by the way. But it was like 3rd and 50. And then it gives you like the 3 options in Madden for the play. It's all halfback dive, halfback dive. And then it's Ryan Day also on 3rd and 6, halfback dive, dive.
It's a weird thing. A lot of people have talked about it. It was this him trying to prove that Ohio State could beat Michigan at their own game, and it just really did not work out. I heard a lot of people saying like Jim Harbaugh infected him with a mind virus of being like, oh yeah, you guys aren't tough. You got to run the ball to be tough.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You're not beating Michigan at their game. No matter how bad they were this year, they still have great running backs. The Don, it was sad to see him get injured that game and the way that ended.
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes back and at least takes some honorary snaps or something in the bowl game.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. That's if not all the starters play, because Colston Loveland, he was hurt. Oh, and by the way, Michigan won without Colston Loveland.
Mm-hmm.
I would say without Will Johnson, but he was hurt. I think he just quit on us.
No, don't say that.
He quit on us.
Don't say that.
A long time ago.
Well, I will tell you this.
So he won't. Sorry, real quick. He won't play in the bowl game.
He won't?
Will Johnson.
That's confirmed?
Well, it's not confirmed. He hasn't played 7 or 8 out of the 12 games this year. I don't see him coming back for the Mayo Bowl or whatever we're going to be in.
The Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl? Come on.
Yeah. Loveland, unless if he gets healthy, I don't think he'll play. And now Edwards, maybe not. So,
yeah.
But Ryan Day, is he done now?
No. Next year he'll be done.
Paul Feinbaum, who is the number one reason why ESPN is SEC bias. I'll get to that in the new playoff rankings. Did you see my text to the Rice Report yesterday? I said that the new rankings that came out yesterday, I said those were the stupidest rankings I've ever seen, and they were, to me.
Oh, my gosh.
Even though I don't like him, he made a good point. He said, unless if Ohio State somehow wins the national championship this year, Ryan Day needs to go.
I just feel like, I could be wrong, but I just feel like Ohio State holds on one more year with him.
I do too. Realistically, they're not going to let him go. Should they? Yes. But
he's got a lot of seniors in this class, so that doesn't look great for him. But
and Friday night when we came back from Ford Field, I turned on the TV to ESPN, and Georgia and Georgia Tech went to 8 overtimes.
Dude, what a game.
And you, in your
Losing
Georgia
my
bet,
mind.
you got going on.
Losing my mind.
I know they'd already clinched
here's the thing,
it by then.
they already clinched, so it was just one of those things where it was like, all right, but you didn't want them to lose. I didn't want them to lose that game, and I thought it was over because we got back and you're like, it's 17-0 or something like that. I was like, what? Because I had talked before that to Brandon. I was just like, this game's gonna be easy, and then it turned into the literal game of the year. That overtime was ridiculous.
Well, the week before, you thought Auburn A&M was the game of the year.
It was,
and
then
4
until
overtimes.
this happened, and then this doubled it. I mean, this was an insane game.
Yeah. Texas versus A&M. That was a lot lower scoring than I thought. A&M coming off that tough upset loss to Auburn. That pretty much killed their playoff hopes. So they had to win the SEC to automatically get in. And they only lost by 17-7 to Texas at College Station.
They just made one more mistake, and that was what cost them. One too many mistakes.
I thought that was quite an effort, though. I know they didn't score a lot of points from Quinn Ewers. I mean, he was not walking around looking good that whole game. So they had the 2-quarterback system. Arch came in on some of the bigger plays in the red zone, and Ewers pretty much did everything else.
Right now, Texas, to me, is public enemy number 1 for this week.
For this week,
they're public enemy number 1
duh.
for me.
Yeah,
because Georgia, and then Steelers are public enemy number 2. We'll get into that. But.
Miami, they're pretty much out of the playoff hope now. Not completely.
That would have been a team early on that I would have thought could have sneaked into the playoffs this year. Like if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season.
Former Buckeye quarterback Kyle McCord and the Orange from Syracuse, Matt Kibbe, will be happy.
Yeah, he will.
They beat Cam Ward in Miami, 42-38.
Wow.
What a game. Oh, and South Carolina, should now be in the playoff because they beat Clemson.
You think?
I know they lost to Alabama.
I know.
So it's going to sound crazy when I say this. But I still think South Carolina is better than Alabama.
Dang. The Gamecocks better than the Tide is what you're saying?
Yeah, and then that leads me into the playoff rankings. I took a picture of the rankings, so I just want to share them here. But I said in our Rice report yesterday that these were the dumbest rankings they've put out yet. So, number 1, obviously, top 4 get the bye. Number 1, Oregon. Number 2, Texas.
Or Georgia.
Well, they have Texas at number 2.
Yeah, or Georgia.
Whoever wins will be number 2.
Sure, yeah.
Because SMU is currently leading the ACC.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
SMU is number 3. They've had a good year.
Yeah, but number 3, I wouldn't say number 3, but I get it the way it's set up.
Boise State, number 4.
I love that team.
Number 5, Penn State.
This is such a weird.
Are you wondering where Georgia's at? Because I keep going down. Number 5's Penn State. Number 6, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame? Why is Georgia below Notre Dame?
Because Notre Dame's had a good year.
Georgia beat Texas, though.
Hey, the committee's stupid.
What are we doing? Yeah, they almost beat Alabama.
Number 7, Georgia. Right now, they would host number 10, Indiana, in Athens, first round.
And here's the thing, none of these rankings end up mattering if Georgia beats Texas in the SEC game. You know, because then they're 2. Now you have to
obviously,
have Texas somewhere.
I know they're fighting, obviously, for the conference, but no matter who loses, well, maybe no matter who loses, they're both still getting in.
Even if Georgia loses, you think Georgia still gets into the playoff? I mean, they're towards the bottom.
It's the SEC bias. Because right now, Alabama is at number 11. I'll get to that. But Georgia, number 7. Ohio State, number 8.
Oh, good
Right
gracious.
now, they would host in Columbus, first round, the Vols, Tennessee, number 9.
I love that game. I love that game being a thing. I want that.
Indiana, number 10. Number 11, Bama. And that's why I'm upset. And then number 12, because they lead the Big 12 conference, Arizona State.
Whoa. Okay.
Because they're one of the 5 major conferences, so they have to have a team in.
Question for you. Does it list anywhere? And if it doesn't, that's totally fine. Does it say who's getting left out? Like who would have...
The first team out is Miami. And then the second team out is Ole Miss. Ole Miss isn't going to get in.
Ole Miss isn't going to get in. There's too many SEC teams at that point. But... Dang, dude.
Well, I don't know. If it's ESPN doing it, they could put in 12 SEC teams if they wanted to.
I love the Arizona State. Arizona State's fun to be in there, but
yeah.
Man, if you would have told me beginning of the season Miami would miss out on the playoffs, I'd be pretty surprised.
But here's where I'm a little upset by. I watched the whole ranking show. The chair of the committee, by the way, is Ward Manuel, the AD at Michigan. Reese Davis asked him, why do you still have Alabama at number 11? Just flat out, why is Alabama here? And will they be moved regardless of what happens this weekend? Because Alabama's not playing an SEC championship, he pretty much said the teams that are in the 12 right now that aren't playing for a conference title are basically going to stay where they're at because they don't have any more data points on those teams.
That makes sense. You don't like that?
No. How does that make sense?
Well, if they can't play any games, how can you?
Sorry, I was very angry at this yesterday.
I guess maybe I'm playing devil's advocate, but if you're bringing, you can't have Alabama go down because they don't play a game. You could.
Yeah, but they have 3 losses. 2 of them are unranked. They lost to Oklahoma, who's horrible, by the way. They got mauled by Oklahoma at their place, okay? Their other loss was to Vanderbilt. I know it was ranked at one point, but it's still Vanderbilt. And their third loss was to Tennessee, another good ranked team, but their other 2 that's their only ranked loss.
I get it.
The 2 unranked losses, sorry to interrupt, 2 unranked losses alone right there. Because I was telling me and I were watching it yesterday. I told him if this was Michigan, and the exact same thing happened in Michigan, 2 unranked losses, but you get 1 ranked loss, Michigan would be 23.
Yeah, I think Michigan would still be in it. I know this might be an
No.
unpopular opinion. Sure, is there an? I wouldn't say there's an SEC bias. There is a Big Ten and SEC bias. If Ohio State was in that same
I don't
situation,
disagree
they'd
with
be
that.
in there. So like, if we were Central Michigan that had this kind of year, then yeah, they're not going to be in it. But when you're a squad like the Big Ten schools, the SEC schools, here's the thing: I want the best teams to be in the tournament because I want. What happens if Alabama runs the table?
It makes the national championship.
They're the best team, college football. You can't argue that. And that's the thing.
At that point you can't, but I'm just right now, if you want the 12 best teams in college football,
Alabama's one of those.
No.
Personally. This is and
Okay.
this is something we'll differ on, but
Yeah.
it's just that I think that with the talent on their team for sure.
I would take Alabama out. By the way, Clemson was like 17 or 18, but that doesn't matter. That's the only team it doesn't matter for because Clemson SMU play for the ACC Saturday. Winner gets in.
That's true, and I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It really doesn't matter where Clemson's ranked because it's win or go home anyways.
Yeah, winner gets in.
So I would take Alabama out, and Miami would go in. I know Syracuse is an unranked loss, but it's either Miami with 2 losses, 1 ranked loss, 1 unranked loss. Stack them up against Alabama, 2 unranked losses, 1 ranked loss to Tennessee, who obviously should be in the playoff.
I might be just. This might be the unpopular opinion, but I'd rather see Alabama against anybody than to see like a Miami team just get in to then get blown out.
I think Alabama gets stomped in the first round anyways.
I think
if they have to go back to Athens or if they have to go to South Bend first round in the weather, no, absolutely not.
You're going to hate this. I think they beat Indiana. They beat Indiana.
South Bend's Notre Dame.
Oh, where's Indiana at?
Bloomington. But no, I agree. No, Alabama I think could beat Indiana.
I think they beat Notre Dame as well.
No, they don't beat Notre Dame.
I think there's
because Army. Sorry, I know we're wrapping up here, but real quick, Army is a really good team. Army's number 20. Notre Dame beat them by like 45 points.
It's Army though. It's a special kind of offense. I think other than
but Army's better than Kansas State, like anybody underneath them in the rankings. So I think Army is deservingly where they are.
Yeah, I guess just
Army's better than Colorado.
Yeah, I guess just to wrap up my thing about Alabama, and I don't know why I'm dying on the sort of Alabama, but it's just that
I don't know why you aren't
either. I'd rather have. I want to watch them now that we have this tournament. I want to watch them in the tournament because I don't want a team like that to be like on the bubble, not make it in, and be like only if we would have been in the playoff. That's why we have these playoffs. So if they come in and they lose their first round matchup,
but there's always one team every year though that feels like they get screwed.
Yeah, I just feel like
Alabama 2 years ago when TCU got in.
Yeah, but
then TCU mauled Michigan,
and we're talking about 4 teams. Where now we're talking about 12. We have that extra room for something like this, and we already have those fun teams that are getting in. If we had like no fun underdog teams getting in, I'd be like, all right, we got to do something. But we have a mix of that. We have a mix of that. We have a mix of your powerhouses getting in. So I think I'm totally okay with it now, but we'll see what happens over the next couple days.
The Sunday, the selection show's at noon right before the NFL games.
Okay, nice.
So we'll find out. And we'll be keeping up with it Saturday night. We'll be following along.
That's right.
So, but it's clear. I agree. I don't disagree with you. Big Ten and SEC bias.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it's all about the money because Alabama also brings in the green.
And some of it's about game quality as well. Would you rather watch Alabama, Georgia, or would you rather watch Georgia, Arizona State?
Well, I'd rather watch Alabama, Georgia, but Georgia gets a first round bye. Alabama would play right now, I think, either Penn State or
heck yeah, Georgia's going to get
somebody in the first. Yeah, Georgia right now gets a.
Well, they get it if they win the SEC,
beat Texas,
and
but
they will.
There's a good chance. Unless if they struggle like they did against Georgia Tech.
Hey, it's a home game. You can argue it's a home game for Georgia. It's in the Georgia. It's in the.
Oh, so it
Mercedes-Benz
was
or
against
whatever.
Georgia Tech, and look what happened.
Well, they still won that game. Don't deny me. Don't deny me this.
Shouldn't be all about the money
Yeah. No,
when
I
it
get
comes
ya.
to
I get ya.
Alabama. Same thing with FanDuel. When we come back, high school boys basketball started this week, and we'll talk about the Bears and Matt Eberflus
Duh, Bears.
when we come back. Welcome back here on JTV. We don't have time. I'm still upset about Alabama. That's ridiculous.
We were having a
I was
debate.
so upset about that yesterday as they're revealing him, as they kept going up and up. Here's number 19, 18, 17. I'm like, wait a minute. Where's Alabama?
We were having a debate in the break about this. So you are.
I will
heated.
die on that hill
sounds
to
like it.
not have Alabama in there. I know there's family and there's family friends that watch that live in Alabama.
Oh, what are you doing?
It doesn't matter. They're not one of the best 12 teams. High school basketball started this week. I mentioned you can subscribe to JTV Sports earlier. Now that the winter sports has started this week, high school basketball, the history I mentioned earlier, you know how good Hanover Horton's boys basketball program has been for years. Grass Lake beat Hanover yesterday at Grass Lake.
Whoa.
53-48, excuse me. Braden Lape, 16 points. Jacob Collins, 14 for the Warriors. The last time Grass Lake beat Hanover,
I just saw this. What on earth?
I tried to go back as far as I could on the MHSA website, and it only goes back to 2008 for the scores, and they had not won. So it was before 2008.
Wow.
History for the Warriors. Because let's be honest, every year it's like, okay, you know, you can write in Hanover at least as one of 2 or 3 teams to win the Cascades. And to be quite frankly honest with you, not a lot of people would write in Grass Lake. Now, you know, is this the start of a comeback for the Warriors, or was this just an off night for Hanover, not discrediting Grass Lake? East Jackson had a nice win, too, to start their season. Columbia beat Leslie. Jackson Christian with a win. Jay High with a win over Lansing Catholic. Lansing Catholic's just getting beat by all the Jackson area schools.
Sorry, Lansing Catholic.
Napoleon over Vandercook. Springport with a win. Center with a win. A couple girls' scores here real quick. Concord beat Hanover 58-33 in their rivalry to begin the season. And Napoleon girls with a close win, 38-29. So pictures online, jtv.tv. And, of course, coming up as we get after Christmas and New Year's, we have all those Shot Clock Classic events happening. So we'll have a lot of basketball highlights for you coming up. So that's all in high school basketball. And that's not the only winter sports. You got the swimming and diving, cheer, gymnastics, hockey, bowling. So a lot of good stuff happening in the winter sports as well. So keep up with it all, jtv.tv. The Raiders, the fumble off the chest, and Matt Eberflus, like you said after the game when he was happy with it, he was like, I thought that went really well.
Oh, goodness sakes.
What?
Yeah. That was, and that's what led to his firing. Really, it really was.
Well, he should have already been fired.
That's a good point.
But this was the nail in the coffin for him.
100%.
He should never be a head coach again after that. So thanks for watching, listening, and have a great weekend because it's already Wednesday. So we will see you at Optimist Friday night on JTV, JU versus Lumen Hockey, and we'll talk to you again Monday.